Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Netley Thompson, and this week, as always and as usual, I am joined by one Kristian Lasham.
I'm wearing the wrong shirt for the show, but
mine's completely wrong, so don't worry.
Mine is like vaguely linked in a way that makes it more wrong. At least yours is so far away it doesn't matter.
Fair. Mine's about shouty people.
It is. Arguably so is mine.
Fair play. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. This is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe and follow multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
You can't. Indeed.
That's one of the things we didn't do on Tuesday. Eventually, maybe. I'm squeaking on the table. Hang on, let me jimmy my crotch out of the leg.
Definitely can't at the moment because it's not letting me pay for it. So. All the rest have also been taken down.
Yes.
Yeah, it won't let me pay for it.
I see. Well, that is a.
So you absolutely can't.
different issue entirely. Where did I get to? Indeed. And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbithole_media_UK or on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits.
Sorry.
Thank you. If you'd like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way helping us bring you the shows that you love. And in particular, it will help us bring you something very exciting. When I say very exciting, I mean very exciting. I'm very excited for this.
You mean this?
I mean this. We'll get there in just a second, because, of course, we've been talking about our Spider-Man rundown for quite some time, and we've been talking about putting together a proof of concept so that you know what you'd be subscribing for, and we have that here. Before we get into the Eternals, we have that here for you today. So, enjoy.
Anyone who is familiar with our channel knows that we are rather large fans of Marvel. In particular, him. And with the titillating rumours of Maguire and Garfield making a return to web swinging, we thought we would make the world's leading rundown of the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Yes, this will be our high production value scripted reenactment rundown of the three movies. When I say high production value, I mean we took a day off work. There will be costumes. There will be stunts. Stellar performances.
Finish it! Deliver us! Finish it! From evil!
And even some special effects. Don't know.
So when will this happen? When you pay up, you cheap c***. All we ask is for 10 active subscribers over on twitch.tv/rabbitholemedia.
These videos will be available to all for free, but to those of you who subscribe during the month we hit our goal, you will get early access, your name in the credits, and have your say in what movies we do next. We genuinely think this could be the best thing we've ever done, but it won't happen unless you make it so. So head over to twitch.tv/rabbitholemedia and let's make some magic. Weird.
As you can see, pure excellence.
Oscar award-winning.
I'm preparing my speech for the Oscar speech.
You should have thwip in it, for one.
It will basically just be different versions of thwip. Thwip, thwap, thwop.
Yes.
Thwipe.
Yes. No. Now you see. Now Hannah is talking about Parasite again. We're talking about this is a different thing now.
This is plot rundown videos. This isn't
a
Bit
whole
1
different
episodes.
thing. And again, this only happens if we get to 10. 10, that's it. I'm not asking for many. Most people are like, oh, get me to 100,000 or some shit. We don't.
That would be nice.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't complain, but it's not the goal.
Not for this one.
The goal.
Not for this one. Maybe the Andrew Garfield one.
Maybe.
Although, to be fair, we would probably just need to dub a couple of words in the Sam Raimi one, and then you've got the Garfield one anyway.
This is true.
Turn the brightness down. Make the suit look more shit, and then you've got the same movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are here to talk about Eternal, so we will jump into that now. The 900th MCU movie.
Yes. Fuck me.
The third of the year, and we're not done yet. How very exciting.
Oh, no, and the best ones to come.
Oh, no.
Well, I assume the best
Hopefully. The potential to be the best, the potential to be the worst.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? It really is.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's Sony doing too much again. They do have Marvel supervision this time, but Sony have a habit of doing too much in Spider-Man movies and making them shite.
Yes.
We'll talk about one of them on Saturday. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Eternals. Many new people to discuss. I will try and get all of their names.
I don't know any of them.
Right, that's going to be bit number 1.
Angelina Jolie. Got
No.
that one. Nailed.
Incorrect.
Shit.
Athena, Icarus, Ajax,
Yeah.
Fastus,
Something like that.
Gilgamesh,
Yeah.
Druig, Kingo, Sprite. Oh, I'm missing 2. What's the
She's
main?
the main one.
I know, she's the main. Makari, thank you. That's the one I was missing. And the main one, oh dear. I've forgotten the main character's name. Cersei.
Of course it bloody is. Game of Thrones.
Sleepy, happy, dopey, grumpy, bashful. Yes, well, there's 10 of them. So one of them is snow and the other is white, I guess. Anyway, general thoughts before we dive into the world of spoilers, as per usual. Kristian, what did you think of Eternals?
I mostly liked it.
Same!
I don't really have anything overly negative to say about it. I liked it. I enjoyed the film. I haven't walked away thinking, this is amazing, top quality Marvel stuff, because it's not, but it's not because it's doing anything bad either. This is what I'm going to start dubbing the Marvel curse. And we've discussed this previously over the past couple of years, that even the bad Marvel films are good, because it's that the Marvel standard is so high, the MCU standard is so high that by comparison, there are many, many better options. Not because this is a bad film in any way whatsoever. 'Cause I had a really good time watching it, but I don't feel I think what it is for me, a lot of the current films we've had, you get kind of like some charm, which gets you really attached to the characters. I personally didn't find that with this. I didn't find myself getting particularly attached to any of the characters yet. I'm sure there's time, but I enjoyed the ride. If that makes sense.
That's fair. This is pretty up there for me. Pretty up there. In terms of, it's the first time Marvel has actually done something different.
I admit, it was nice to have something refreshing. I totally agree.
That's fair enough, Rich. That's fair enough. So it was nice to have something different. I do have some issues with it. I think there was a lot of charm. I do quite like some of the characters. One of them in particular, which is a bit of a shame. So we'll get to that eventually. But no, I really liked it. I like the fact that it was and I'm not one of these people that thinks all Marvel movies are the same.
No.
Because I have eyes and a brain, and I can watch a Marvel movie and go, oh yes, Guardians and Captain America the Winter Soldier are not the same movie. And it is nice that we have a movie that helps wriggle out the scum of the earth by going, who's just immediately jumped in and said this movie is shit? You're either a prick in one of two ways. One, you're a massive hypocrite because you're also the people that complain that Marvel need to do something different, or you're just a fascist.
Yeah, which is most of the people that complain.
Most
about
of
this movie.
yeah.
Most of the complaints are to do with the fact that there is a deaf girl and an openly gay character
Deaf girl, openly gay, and most of them aren't white.
Yeah. Yeah. And people seem to be very upset about this because people are scum.
Indeed they are. Indeed they are. But I've got to say, I've got some new, very beloved characters from this movie.
That's fair. I mean, I don't see any of the characters as being beloved. That's not that I didn't. Again, I enjoyed it. I think the characters were all mostly good. Druig pissed me off at first, but he brings it round.
I think that's the point.
I appreciate this. But yeah, I haven't walked away going, oh, I really enjoyed that character. I want to see more of this character. I want to see more of that. I just didn't find that. Whereas, with every other Marvel film so far, there's been a character that I've really... False! There was one character I found myself attached to, and he's not a main character. The valet.
I see. Yes. Well, hopefully he returns.
Yes.
Hopefully in some way. But no, there are characters that I found myself attached to that will not be returning, which hurt me deeply. Hurt me deeply, but the valet. Yeah, I really like this movie. There are some issues with storytelling I take with this movie, but I like little nods and I really enjoyed it. That's all I need to say.
Should we get into more detail as to why?
Let's. The plot rundown will be a bit different, largely because I saw this movie a week ago and can't remember. I can't remember all the finer details that we nail on the head every single time, usually.
We do nail it. We are very good at the plot rundowns. Which is why you should Why you should subscribe so we can do some polished
For every
ones.
subscription, Kristian has a speaking lesson.
Wow, that was so unfair. That was so unnecessary.
One day, when we hit 10 active subscribers.
Right, we've already set one goal for 10, all right?
Fine, 11.
Thank you. So, yeah, plot. We're not going to do the plot. Basically, the only real complaint I have with this film is there is so much back and forth in the plot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of plot, for one. There is a lot of plot because it has to explain the backstory of who they are and why they exist, has to explain the backstory of what they're doing, the backstory of who each of them are, how they've all got to the place. There is so much plot. You're kind of getting character arcs for every character, and there's
mostly
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 of them. You said that at the beginning.
I did.
You didn't listen. This is my problem. So there's a lot to get through, and I think it mostly does a good job of handling it and keeping it well paced. Because for me, I found it's 2.5 hour long film. I found it ended, and I went, "Oh, we're done. Okay, cool." So it flew by for me, but retaining the order of everything impossible because it just bounces.
Absolutely
back and forth.
impossible, and that is my biggest problem with the movie as well. It's just do it in fucking order, and also the timings that they speak don't add up.
How do you mean?
When they say something was so long ago, or in particular, the Cersei saying that her and Icarus were together for 5,000 years, and then the date comes up of the scene where they get together, and it wasn't 5,000 years ago, not even close. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, okay, like before you put these subtitles on, don't just make them up. Read the script. Go through. This is an 8 years later all over again for Spider-Man: Homecoming. But yeah, I can't remember how this film. Did this film open by just them arriving at Earth?
It opens with like early stages of them arriving on Earth in like the Mesopotamia times or something, fighting some Eternals. No, other way around. Deviants. They're the Eternals.
They are the Eternals. Yes, it arrives with this was a good scene. This was cool. But I watched it in IMAX, and therefore, for this entire scene, it was...
See, I didn't have this problem because I didn't watch it in IMAX, but yeah, it seems to be...
It was egregious. To the point. I will notice it all the time. Whether or not it does it once or 400 times, I will notice it. So it's like, not every movie is egregious. But This one was. I was sitting there going, do not do this whole movie. Because it distracts me. And I hate that it distracts me. I wish it didn't, but it does. I just find it really distracting.
No, I find it distracting when you do it. And from the level that you have implied that it does it. I think my mic is quiet, by the way, and no one said it, because I'm like -10, and then you talk.
I am just louder than you. Or my mic's probably just loud.
Yeah.
More than yours is quiet.
See.
But no one said anything, so
Yeah. I just feel like it's going to be an issue.
change it then. Instead of
Can you just bring down? I think it will be 14. I think, and then we'll check this. Maybe not, but fuck it. They just said we found it sound fine, so fuck it. Let's just carry on. Okay, cool. Right, no need to worry. Sorry, I just saw it and I panicked. Yeah, it annoys me too. End of story. But yeah, we get through that. So we start essentially with just an introductions of these Eternals. They are fighting these things. We then get a sort of a back and forth for back and forth for a while with them kind of jump between modern day, which essentially is them. They're all separated because as far as they're concerned, they've done their job. They've defeated all the deviants.
Yep.
And they're just waiting to be told they can go home. So they've all separated and are just living in an existence, waiting. When suddenly a deviant turns up in the middle of fucking London, Camden. Causes a big hullabaloo.
Well, yes, we get a couple of introductions first. We get a proper introduction to Cersei in the modern day.
Yeah.
We get Sprite. We get Kit Harington.
This was a weird thing to me. So Kit Harington being in there, they kind of, in the early part of this film, kind of play him as a very B role, which kind of makes sense for this plot. But I was just watching it going, it's Kit Harington. He's clearly going to turn into a main part at some point. Because you don't cast Kit Harington, I don't think, anyway.
I mean, to be fair, other than Game of Thrones, he hasn't done anything.
No, but Game
good.
of Thrones is one of like the biggest things ever. You can't deny the size of Game of Thrones. Everyone knows him as Jon Snow. So I feel like if you're MCU and you're casting Kit Harington, it just implies that he's going to be used in one way or another.
For sure. I knew that about a year ago.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's how obvious it was.
Well, no, they announced who he was.
Oh, but I ain't paying attention to that.
So it's not like they were trying to hide anything.
No.
And they do. There's been some pretty big actors that have, like, there was the scene in Civil War where that woman gives the photo of her son to Tony Stark. She's a pretty big actress, and she was in it for 4 minutes.
I had no idea who that was.
No, she is a rather large actress, but she was in it for all of 2 minutes. There's been several little cameos and what have you.
Sammy just said it started with Star Wars scrolling a bit. I missed some of that as I popped to the loo, which meant when the film started, it made zero sense. I really thought I missed something. Well, you did. You missed the scroll at the beginning. It would seem.
Yes. Yeah, I don't like a film that starts with reading, to be fair.
I don't really mind it. I think that, again, it had so much backstory to set up. It's a quick, easy way of doing so, which is why Star Wars did it as well. It sets a setting. I don't really mind it. It did a short amount of it, then just cracked on.
Yeah, and it was just weird because I don't think there was anything in that scroll that wasn't explained in the movie.
Yeah, there was that. It doubles down on
Whereas
everything in the plot.
with Star Wars, it's kind of bringing you up to the
date.
beginning of the movie, and then it carries on, and nothing from the scroll really gets mentioned again. It just makes sure that you are up to date.
Yeah.
Particularly on the any of the sequel movies beyond A New Hope, because it's just recapping the first film essentially. But yeah, I just found it odd because they explained everything.
Everything gets explained
within from that text scroll, and also pretty quickly. I say within like 20 minutes, everything had been covered. So it's like that was unnecessary.
Pretty much everything that was in that scroll, anyway. At least
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Of who the Eternals were and what they were doing.
Yeah, that's why I just think that it was kind of.
No, that's fair. I agree with that.
Unnecessary. It was also, we'll get to it later, but it was also essentially wrong because of plot twists.
Yes.
So it was. I don't mind it in Star Wars, but when it's an utter waste of time, it just it's pointless.
Fair enough.
It is pointless. Usually because, and it doesn't apply to this one, but usually if you see reading at the beginning of a movie, it goes, this was a last-minute decision because they realise they watched the film and they haven't made sense. So they put that at the beginning, like last-ditch effort to try and make it make sense. Because it's usually B movies that do it.
It is a very B movie.
And I don't mean the B movie.
It's become a sci-fi trope because
Yes.
of Star Wars as well.
Yes.
To put this in it makes it a sci-fi movie.
Woo!
Spaceships.
But anyway, they're on Earth. They've punched deviants.
Yeah.
That man in Mesopotamia got very eaten. We're past that. We're in London. We've met Cersei. We've met Sprite. We've met Kit Harington. Dane. I'll probably call him Kit Harington for the rest of the movie because Dane is not a good name. Sorry to anyone called Dane. Your parents failed you. Deviant showed up. Then out of nowhere, the Flying Scotsman showed up as well.
Good name. They should have called him that.
I do find it weird that they immediately had regional accents.
I did. Yeah.
This is just the
one of
problem
these
with
minor
using
things.
humans
Yeah, there's
as.
I was thinking that they all have regional accents. This is odd given the nature of it. However, we're currently talking about a film where there are.
Oh yeah, it's not something. It was more of a joke observation as opposed to an actual criticism. Why would I care that someone's Scottish? It just doesn't
I don't
make
know.
sense that a space.
Some people are very angry that one of them's deaf. You might be angry that one of them's Scottish.
See,
One of them's Irish.
do you know what really fucking drives me down? Like, it doesn't make any sense to be against anyone. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Being against pricks, like being against fascists, top-notch behaviour. That makes sense. But when you break it down even further, so it's just like this person has a disability. I don't like them.
Jack's very upset this evening.
It's one of those things. It just doesn't compute.
Oh, no,
with
of course
me.
not. Doesn't compute at all.
It's like most pricky, shitty, batshit behaviour. You can at least play devil's advocate to some degree and find out, like, a murderer. In some cases, I could be like, I understand. Like, this person killed my children, so I murdered him in the face. I understand. But being like, this person's different. Well observed. Move on. Like, anyway, it very much irritates me, especially when this movie's shit. Why? He's black. Your point? Anyway.
Flying Scotsman turns up out of nowhere, considering what we had been told before that was... Because we'd had that set up for him, she's talking to Kit.
They also have the conversation. Why didn't you help with Thanos?
I didn't help with Thanos. That's later, though. I'm saying before he turns up and before he works it out. what's going on.
Yes, it is before. It is after.
Because he's calling her out already, like, I think you're a wizard. All these
Yes.
weird things keep happening.
Something like Doctor Strange.
Which I quite liked. Also, I was thinking the entire time, I'm just going to get this one out there now. I was thinking the entire time that all of the Eternals are particularly blasé, the majority of the time. Like,
I don't think they're trying to hide.
well, yeah,
Most of
I
them.
just felt that was weird that they weren't. And then I was like, why is there not more of a talking point over these Eternals being around and some of these other people that are around? But then I realised, like, later on, they write it into that a lot of them are kind of the sources of legend. Mm-hmm. Like, Athena is the source of Athena and stuff like that. And
Icarus is the actual Icarus. Yeah.
which actually I really liked. Because at first
And it
I
all
just
comes
thought it
from,
was
they
strange.
explain it as well, they all come from Sprite. Sprite is
Yeah.
like a storyteller. And
Which is great. I think that's a really good little... Because, early on, I was just like... When she's in the classroom at the beginning and there's that earthquake and she just turns the thing to dust. It was for me, it was back to reason 754. Everyone knows Peter Parker Spider-Man. It was just kind of like that.
well, yes. In that one in particular, no one was looking.
No one was looking, but surely at some point, one of those kids would have gone, that thing was about to fall on her and it's miraculously turned into dust.
Potentially. But as I say, they're not particularly trying to hide.
No, they're not trying to hide it. No.
Like we have Fastos later, who has blatantly told his his family what's going on, and they're talking about how she does need to tell Kit, so she's not hiding it. She's just finding the time. Doesn't seem like they've been together that long. You don't immediately go space wizard. Who else? And obviously, throughout ancient times, they're just using their powers very, very blasé.
We kind of get that set up early on as well. When she's talking, explaining to Kit, and she says, I haven't been with me. My last boyfriend's been a while, sort of thing. He was a pilot, and then obviously he turns up out of nowhere, and that for me was an instant red herring on twist around him, because it just seemed weird to me that he happened to be there at the right place at the right time and no one else.
They do explain that pretty quickly.
Yeah, only because of what he's done.
Well, he says he came to check on her because of the earthquake.
Yeah, but that's a blatant lie.
Well, yeah, of course. But, I mean, like, it's one of those things you could just... Fine.
I feel like that's just not the point I'm making. Like, I'm not making a negative thing. I'm just saying it was a giveaway early on. There was a plot twist around him because the logic behind him just turning up and then him going... And it's an intentional giveaway. Like, it's supposed to be clear. And then him going, I was coming to you from the to check up on your earthquake after they've not spoken to each other in thousands of years. Like...
100 years.
That's still a fucking long time.
Not to them.
It's still a long time to then go, there was an earthquake. An earthquake of all the things we as Eternals dealt with. There was an earthquake.
That happened everywhere in the world at the same time.
And he only went to... I just don't know. I don't buy it. It just seems very convenient. And it wasn't convenient because the point. That wasn't why he was there. We know why he was there.
Well, yes, I know.
There's a bigger meaning. So,
of course.
Point is, it was a red herring early on. It was just kind of like, convenient you're there. And that kind of happens throughout as well.
Hannah said they'd been together long enough to get him a ring from the 1500s with his family crest. It's not like an Amazon voucher. It's a good point, but she can turn anything into anything. So for all you know, that's actually a bush.
So she got one of those rings from like inside a Kinder Surprise.
And just went bloop.
Yeah.
It's now from the 1500s with your family crest.
And as an added bonus, she got a Kinder Surprise. Those things are great.
I was going to say illegal in America, but they were in London. So... It tracks. I think that's exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened.
Although I don't think she can make patterns and specific things. I
know,
think she can just change materials.
Later on.
Well, she still changes one thing into another thing. She can the material of things. Could she actually No, I was taking the piss. I don't think that's what she actually did. I don't think she took a bit of a bush and turned it into a ring.
I do firmly believe at some point in her existence she had a Kinder Surprise, though.
Probably.
Otherwise, what a woeful existence you've had.
7,000 years and you don't have a really itchy nose. And you don't have one Kinder.
Anyway, we are 30 minutes into this episode and we are 2 minutes into this film.
It's fine, because a lot of it we can just jump over. I don't think there's anything to talk about for about an hour now.
No, because we just get them now, like they kind of... A deviant has returned. We need to get the others. This deviant seems to be able to heal itself. They've never been able to do that before. This earthquake was scary, wasn't it? Let's go find off the others. And they're just on a trek then, finding everyone else. And then we get... As we kind of get introduced into each Eternal properly, we get a flashback into essentially their last moments in that group, essentially every time, isn't it? Or thereabouts.
The flashbacks are set over about 4,000 years.
Yeah.
So, no.
I don't know. They're all like they're all kind of leading to the final point.
They're leading to it, but yeah, they're set over
so
thousands of years. Yeah,
we're getting the flashbacks to those things, to those events happening, which is what kind of caused them all to split off and whatnot. And we're getting a bit of backstory on each of those characters. Is this the bit you take issue with in terms of that backstory?
Jumping all about the place, because it's. I kind of wish, and Hannah has said something similar, which we'll get to in reading the things, but. I kind of just wish you had everything up to the past, and then maybe 45 minutes, an hour in, that's where we get the London bit. But then you're taking too long to get into the deviant shit. But I don't know. The jumping all over the place, once or twice, fine, but it does it for...
I think the reason it did it this way was because it was doing a character at a time, essentially, like for the most part.
Yeah, I know. Each flashback kind of centre... I know why they did it. It was just... I find it very few things do that kind of storytelling well, and this wasn't horrible. I enjoyed it, but it was just all over the place.
I don't think it did a bad job at doing it. I think it did. Every time there was a jump, it kind of took me a moment to, like, okay, we've jumped again, sort of thing. Just resetting that, because it was jumping so often. It was just that keeping track of, right, so this is modern. Okay, now we're back here. Now we're modern.
And
sort of
I kind of feel like
that's where I was getting lost with it.
Some of the flashbacks would have been more interesting if that was the entire. Like, I'd love to see superheroes being the reason for an entire season or a movie or something, like a group of 10 vastly different superheroes being the reason for Babylon. That would have been pretty cool to watch. But instead, we got a large field. But anyway, lots of flashbacks at this point. This is when. This is another reason I can't remember what order the flashbacks happened in.
No, I don't remember them at all.
So we got one.
I can't remember who they go and get first. I feel like
they go for Ajax first. Selma Hayek.
Yes, they do.
They go for Selma Hayek, and she is corpse.
Yes,
she's dead.
She has moved on.
See, there's a thing here. We're in spoilers, so a mild thing. I'm jumping ahead. You see later on, after Icarus has been a prickarus and caused the death. Didn't kill her per se, but is somewhat responsible. Just places her body there. Is clearly very upset about it and does the laser eyes. Is that not sus? When you arrive and see laser burns all over the place, unless he has non-burning lasers.
He didn't. We saw it happen.
Yes, we saw it burn.
Yes,
he caused the fire.
Yep.
Oh, I guess, but if you cause a fire, everything's kind of burn, isn't it?
I do kind of get what you mean, though. It does feel like it's a potential giveaway.
But then you could just go as deviant.
Which is what he does.
Well, yes,
isn't it?
because technically it was.
Yeah.
Technically.
But she dead, and then they tell us the story of one of the demons has drained her powers, which is why it can heal, because she can heal. We can't let that happen to anyone else. Which we do start to get as it goes on, because we get it where as we get introduced to everyone, we get introduced to backstories of all of them.
I think next they go for Kingo, don't they?
Thank you, Hannah.
Thanks. One step closer
To the edge.
I'm about to break. 6 months in a row. Fuck yeah. But anyway, they go and get.
I think they go to Ajax.
Then they go to Fastos.
Do they? I feel like they went to him. No, you're right. They do go to Fastos.
Because he wasn't with. I can't remember him being with them.
No.
Fastos being with them when they got Kingo, but Kingo definitely wasn't with them when they got Fastos. So I imagine it's that way round. This is where you get the scene from the trailer of him punching the table.
The IKEA desk.
The IKEA table. Then they get Kingo. Then they go and get
These two.
Gilgamesh and Thena. Sprite's been with them from the get-go, and then they go and find the ship, which is where Makari...
No, they go find Druig first.
Did they find Druig first?
Yeah.
They do, and then they go on the ship.
The last place they go.
Kingo first. I think they just let him stay in the jet when they go first. Did they?
I really don't remember, but...
I don't
remember so... Like, it's so unclear that, sure, why not? I believe you.
Yeah. Could be either way. I don't know. I do not know.
Kingo was actually one of my preferred characters. I found him very amusing, and I was a big fan of his valet, as I say.
Yes, he was very amusing. Very amusing that they showed up and he was filming a scene where he was playing Icarus. He's turned himself into a Bollywood superstar. I appreciated the scene on the plane. You're right, because Fastos wasn't on the plane.
Yes. I know what scene you're talking about.
The scene where I was like, this is my great-grandfather, this is my father, this is...
Genius.
Yes, absolutely. Not at all suspicious that they look identical, but hey ho, here we go. People are idiots. We've established this, so this could you could probably actually get away with that.
He absolutely could. He did.
Well, yes. Fair point. Yes. So everyone is gathered. You get Then they go and get Druig. This is oh no! They find out because the glowy ball of throat.
Oh yes, the glowy throat
goes
ball.
into Cersei.
Yeah. This is
And
what
then
allows them to connect to their celestial
Leader
controller,
Who?
creator.
is a very large chap.
Yes, very red.
I think the red bit would be ignored if you when you get to the size of the chap.
Colour, I always spot colour first.
I see, because you see him at the very end, like compared to as he leans over the entirety of it.
He's vast.
He's a vast individual.
Yeah.
Imagine the schlong on that.
He had 6 eyes, so how many schlongs does he have, do you reckon?
13.
Plausible, you don't know.
But anyway, yes, has a chap. He then explains what they actually are.
Yeah, because Cersei adopts that throat ball from dead Ajax, and is struggling to talk to him, and then she works it out because I think Icarus gives her advice. Is it? No, who is it? Gilgamesh gives her advice saying sometimes you need to listen, and then she works it out, does that. He explains what's actually going on, which is that he has impregnated the Earth with an egg of a celestial, essentially. The Earth is an egg. That's basically what's going to happen. Your job is to protect the Earth from the deviants, which was my first attempt at keeping... Because now, what is it? You need to have intelligent life on the planet because the celestial being grows by absorbing the energy off the intelligent life. So I put the deviants on the planet to kill the predators. Only the intelligent life would survive, but then they became the apex predator instead. So I needed to create
Which is a very obvious thing.
Of course that was going to happen, yeah. And it happens a second time, essentially. So then I needed to create you to go and get rid of them to keep it alive. And then once they hit the peak thing and we're ready to hatch,
But
you then need to make sure that the emergence takes
the large
place.
problem was, obviously, the deviants are organic, living beings, so they can evolve, they can reproduce, they can do all this, that, and the other. Whereas the big reveal was the Eternals are not.
They are not. Yeah.
They are big space robots,
Which
essentially.
was his first mistake. He made the other ones real,
Yes.
so they had the ability to grow. But it turns out that big space robots also have an ability to grow a conscience.
Well, yes. AI, it's a problem.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like this guy should have watched the films that was happening
Yes, watch.
in his own world.
To be fair, he kind of beat them to the punch on that
beat
one.
them to the punch,
They were there long before Terminator.
True.
Because I
True that.
agree, if they were there after Terminator era.
Yeah.
So stupid. But yeah, they do that. They've got everyone. They go to Druig. The deviants show up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of punchy.
Good fight scenes.
Some good fight scenes. Some
It's
cool
a
fight
gorgeous
scenes.
movie, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. One has wings, so Icarus takes it and fucks off to keep it away from everybody else. Gilgamesh does his big old punches. He had big old punches.
Yeah,
Big old punches. He does in real life as well. He has some big old
the
punches.
glowy wrist things too.
No, that is CGI. I'm afraid. It's. But yeah, he's a boxer and an actor from Korean. He is.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a boxer. Fair enough.
Most beloved from Train to Busan, where he does a lot of proper, his like little run-up punch. Does a lot of that to the faces of zombies. It's very satisfying.
Fair enough.
I
I quite liked. I've forgotten his name.
Kingo,
Kingo. Quite liked his thing.
his finger
His
guns.
finger gun things. It was cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool.
All of their powers are pretty cool, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I mean, Makari's a bit quick.
I mean, I would argue that. I'm so bad with the name. Fastus.
Fastos.
Doesn't have much to offer in a fight, I suppose.
I mean, he's the only one in the movie that managed to hold down Icarus.
This is true. Yeah.
Has everyone
take
seen
it
the
back.
recent trailers for it? So all the TV spots that are coming out literally have the beginning of the Angelina Jolie, Athena, Icarus fight scene in it, saying you've never fought me before, but I've always wanted to.
Spoiler.
Come on! Well, we're in spoilers.
No. I was stating the trailer is a spoiler.
Stupid. stupid.
Yes.
And it has the evolved deviant in it, and it has the fucking celestial freezing in the ocean.
Oh, great! Just have all the plot points.
Yeah. What the actual fuck? Anyway, yeah, he builds shit.
He does build shit.
It's
Anyway,
obviously heavily implied that he comes up with a lot of the things to
Technology.
give us a jump.
Yeah.
And then we have probably one of the more serious emotional scenes when he's in the aftermath of Hiroshima, however you're supposed to pronounce it, and he's just like, these people are scum, and I've never related to a statement more in my life. It's like, these people are scum. I shouldn't have helped them. I should have just absconded. So
he doesn't say absconded, but he implies it.
it would have been a 10 out of 10 movie if he did. This is a plough because it ploughs the yes.
I'd argue we could sue if they had said abscond. We own that word. The whole scene where this is a plough, I like that. I like I've made a steam engine, and they're like, what does that do? He's like, it's an engine from steam.
It's a bit too fast because that was like really early, wasn't it? This is a bit too fast, and you just go, "This is a plow." Plows things.
Yeah. Well, then what happens here? They talk about this is a plow, plows things, works some good. There's some settlers around the corner. They need help plowing things, and then Cersei goes off with Icarus, and Icarus plows her.
Yes, yes.
Marvel's first ever completely pointless sex scene.
Yes. And it's news that it only took 25 minutes.
No, I saw that. It only took 25 minutes to film this. Yes, because it was 10 seconds long.
I know. This is what I know. It took us less than 25 minutes to film our masterpiece. And I was playing two characters. It was shot from multiple angles, two different fucking costumes. They weren't wearing any costume. And all they had to do was... for 5 seconds. Of course it only took 25 minutes.
I also thought it was completely fucking pointless.
Oh, yeah. As is pretty much every sex scene that has ever happened.
The majority of sex scenes are completely pointless. Yeah, I totally agree. But this one felt even more pointless considering that as it was never happened in a Marvel movie before, so it's kind of out of place. And it literally added nothing to the... Yes, we know you like each other. You've made that clear already. You've just done the holdy-handy thing and the cute line, oh, yours if you want me. We get it. You've had a good kiss. Proceed.
Richard Madden saying, I am beautiful. And to be fair, not an incorrect statement.
Not an incorrect statement. No.
Some sex scenes are at least hot. Are they? Or are they just... I feel for me, they've been spoiled by the fact of I know how a lot of movies are made, and I know that they're incredibly fucking uncomfortable and awkward. So that's all I see when I see it's like, you've just spent probably 3 days, because most movie makers take too fucking long to do things. Random side note, Clint Eastwood gives you one take.
Helpful if he gets it wrong, innit?
Porn counts as sex scenes, right?
So what? It's a scene with sex in it.
Yeah, I guess it will just be a less realistic. Not that this is particularly... Nothing about lying on a probably warm rock
It is
particularly arousing.
It's less realistic considering there is
Actual sex, yes.
Anyway, I feel like we're on the wrong topic now.
It's never a wrong topic when porn's involved. What were we talking about?
Porn, apparently. They plowed each
The
other.
awkward sex scene. Oh, the plow.
The plow.
Hannah said felt like a bit much with him being responsible for Hiroshima. It's like, I never took it as he was responsible. More that he kept giving them nudges, and then this is where it's gone.
Yeah.
The nudges he gave, they decided to build. I don't
The
think
nudges
he
he
thought
gave
it was a
meant
good
that they-
idea to build a nuclear bomb.
The nudges he gave them the technology capable to build an atom bomb, which then caused them to do the shit that we have to deal with.
Yes, pretty much.
Not that we've had to deal with Hiroshima ourselves, but you know what I mean.
She could have changed the rock to be more comfy underneath.
Maybe she liked. Maybe it's a Goldilocks thing.
Indeed.
She wanted Daddy Bear's bed.
Just right. Indeed. Well, so they ploughed. What happens after that? This is when we get the flashback,
Yeah,
like
see,
the
we're all
wedding.
over-
I think.
we're all
I think
over
this
the
is
place.
where. I think this is where they get their flashback of them getting married.
Oh yeah,
in a very
married as well.
traditionally
Druig,
Indian.
yeah, a flashback with Druig where he is very unhappy that Ajax won't let him interfere with anything. Oh yeah, because that's the rule. They're not allowed to interfere with
Unless
human
deviants are
conflict.
involved.
It's
This is
only-
why they haven't gotten involved with. May I argue, Thanos not a human conflict.
No, but it's not deviant either.
Technically, he is
Well,
actually.
it is a thing, isn't it? Yeah.
He is a deviant actually.
Yeah.
Although clearly not in the MCU because the Eternals are robots in the MCU.
Anyway, yeah, Druig is very upset at one point when there is some sort of genocide going on that we can help.
This is the last flashback.
We're already all over the place.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying this is the last
yeah.
flashback of the movie because this is where they split up.
Because
Yeah.
at the same time that he wants to go help and shows that he can and takes control of them all with his mind powers and he absconds. This is also the same time where we get Angelina Jolie starts to have her episodes. I can't remember what they called it.
Something mind.
Something mind manga, something I don't remember. Where she is essentially what we find out is she is getting previous memories.
Wild
back.
mind or something.
Oh, might be that. Yeah, Wild Mind sounds about right.
Mad Weary. Is it Mad Weary?
It is Mad Weary. Yeah, she's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're skipping over the plot all over the place. We prefaced that this would happen. Don't pretend as though we didn't warn you. We knew about this. Anyway, we're getting the main points.
6 days is a very long time to go. In the books, he is an Eternal with deviant gene. I thought he was just half Eternal, half deviant. Because Eternals can't have kids with Eternals or something stupid. That's what. Anyway.
This is when Ajax points out, well, we've killed all of the deviants now, so go and live some lives. Go and do what you need to do. Still follow the rules to an extent.
Yeah, Gilgamesh stays with Thena to make sure she doesn't completely lose the plot and murder everyone.
Yeah, because that's what she starts doing.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure that she'll be very capable of
Yes,
doing so.
absolutely.
Just go into a small town.
Yeah, so Gilgamesh stays with her. Ajax just kind of remotely keeps control of everyone. Icarus and Cersei go off, have a fling, and then abscond. Speedy Girl just seems to live on the ship.
Yes, many a book.
Yeah. And Druig carries on his cult.
Mm-hmm.
We already have discussed the Bollywood actor.
We have indeed. Yeah, Sprite. She mentioned she wasn't there the entire time, but they were saying that her and Cersei were both lonely, so suggested they go and saw each other.
Yes.
And so they've been living together. Obviously, we get a lot of stuff with Sprite being somewhat miffed that she is a 14-year-old girl for eternity.
Yep. I'd be annoyed by this too.
Same.
I'd be very annoyed by this.
Oh,
Especially
God,
as
yeah,
she
imagine being
has
14 forever.
she has a thing for Icarus as well, so she's particularly even more miffed because she can't do nothing about it. As a 14-year-old girl.
Even though she's 7,000. Well,
Precisely.
longer than that, because we get the whole point of they just get reset every time.
I feel like that wouldn't stand up in court.
No, you're probably correct.
So, I promise, Judge, she was 14,000 years old.
You're probably correct. But it's... How far would you let a court case get if you can laser your way out of the building and fly off? Like, if you were arrested as Superman, how far would you let that go before you're just going, bored?
So we do start. What we get here is that Cersei tells everyone the truth. We are here because this emergency, and our job is to make sure this emergent happens. But I don't want to. All these people will die on this planet, and I don't know if I can do that. And they all kind of come to this group decision of, yeah, we love these people, we love this planet, we don't want to let it be destroyed. Let's stop that from happening. So they start trying to conduct their plan to stop that from happening.
Obviously, Icarus disagrees somewhat.
Disagrees, but he goes along with it at first because he.
Well, because he doesn't want to tell them,
doesn't want
oh,
to tell
I
them, yeah.
murdered Ajax,
Yeah.
and I will kill you all as well if I have to, just so that these 8 billion people can die, so other planets can exist. Just make more planets, mate. You're a large chap. This is like making a snowball for you. You can make a few. Why is it unique? Like one per celestial. It just seems odd. But anyway.
It also confused me because it seemed to be the previous exposure we've had to us. I appreciate obviously that each celestial is different, but the other celestial we've seen in this universe so far, in Ego, didn't seem to behave in that manner. He seemed to just be able to.
It was implied that he was the first one, wasn't it?
That was the implication I took, and that he was just able to create things at will. He could just create matter.
I think that's what they said in the movie, but it required to create a planet with living beings and stuff on it. It requires a certain amount of energy, and you get that energy from the other planet to then make more planets. Yeah. So it's trading one for many, I believe.
Which is what the
plot is. Yeah. The plot is
all these people will be killed, but it'll allow us to make so many more planets and so much more life.
Yeah, it almost comes down to like a. We're not going to go here, but it gets very dangerously close to like a pro-life conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But as I say, we are not the podcast to go there.
No. We'll compare sex scenes in porn all day long, but...
See, that's comical. That's not a serious political conversation. But, so yeah, they decide against that. Icarus is just like... No, we need to do this. What I did like is that Kingo also agrees with Icarus.
He does.
But he's just like, but I care more about you, so I'm just not going to not do anything, and whatever happens, happens. I'll see you afterwards. Which I kind of liked. Yeah. I didn't like it in the sense of I wanted to see more Kingo fucking shit up. But I liked it in the way of plot. That not everyone agreed. And then I also liked the bit where Sprite goes with Icarus. Yeah. And everyone's just like, the fuck? And Kingo's like, she's in love with him, you fucking idiots. Like, how can you not see that? Oh, we glossed over how many cameras did you bring?
How many cameras did you bring? See, I thought the valet is great. Valet is great.
He is. They break many of his cameras, and I love how they're gradually worse every time as well. I was just expecting eventually him like a little GoPro just like strapped to his head, just like ready to fucking go. But where am I? I jumped so far ahead. I jumped so far ahead that
Long story short. Icarus eventually tells them all the truth. I killed Ajax because she was telling me to stop the emergence, and I disagreed with that. So I made sure it happened. I think it is very much implied that he helped the deviants hatch from under the ice. Was the implication I took. Because he shows that these have just appeared. Some ice caps melted.
I actually took that as that's what happened,
and it's very plausible
that they just. So I took that as he did just find them, but and then was going to get people together. That's why he went to Ajax, get people together to deal with it. She told him that, and he just went, "This is an opportunity."
Yeah, I see that. That's fair.
It's more conniving that way. So yeah, he throws her down there, and obviously her ability is to heal.
Yep.
Not useful.
No.
In a fight.
No.
As any MOBA players will be able to tell you. So, yeah, that's where she dies, and then... Yes. We didn't talk about the fact that Gilgamesh died.
Gilgamesh does. He gets fucked up.
It is brutal, the way he dies, and I was very sad, because I liked Gilgamesh. He was probably my favourite of the Eternals, and he gets very fucked up. And for some reason... the healing didn't change the look of the deviant, but for some reason the ability to punch.
What I took from that was it was gaining so much more energy that it was starting to evolve more. But I agree, it was a sudden jump, wasn't it?
It was like I would understand if it was like slowly changing, but it went from Tentacle Dog to Blue Ultron very quickly.
Yes.
I did get strong Ultron vibes.
Yep.
From the evolved deviant. But from this point, Gilgamesh died. Very sad. I was very sad. I almost just left. I was like, fuck this. But yeah, largely it's just building up to the fact that obviously down at the beach, what's it called? Emergence.
Yeah.
That's occurring, building down, making up a plan on what the fuck do I do. During the same fight, Gilgamesh died. Cersei turns one of the deviants into a tree,
Yes.
which she's never been able to do. She's never been able to do it to living matter before. So she's just like, oh, I see.
Maybe if I can get close enough, isn't it? She says I can do.
So if I can get close enough, maybe I can
Yes.
do that. And then that's why Phastos builds a thing to link all of their power. Like
Yeah.
they work on absorbing energy and they use their energy to do the power. So if you can send that all into one source, being one of the Eternals, then you would be able to be more powerful for a limited amount of time.
Yep.
And also it co-aligned with that they all share energy from the Celestial so that they don't die during the emergence.
Yeah.
So they had that as well. So even the fuckers that didn't particularly want to do this helped.
Yep.
Which I think is why Icarus did what he did, to be fair.
Yes.
But we'll get to that.
So yeah, we get that to the point where Icarus and Sprite are going to try and make sure the emergence happens while the rest of them go to try and stop it. We get a bunch of cool fights here with them all fighting each other, and when they're teaming up for a while, they've got Icarus pegged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like the fact that it's not that one of them is super powerful. It's just obviously...
Well, he is. Icarus is the super powerful one. He's the one they... Because there's a point where they're like, this is Icarus we're talking about. Like,
No, for sure. But I feel it's less that one's more powerful than the other. It's more that Icarus's powers are more for this. For fighting. The others, like, they all have their role to play. Icarus is the fighter. Is the powerful fighter. Like, and so him and Gilgamesh
yeah.
are the really powerful ones. So they all have their roles. He's just brute force and nimble. She can, and quick rather. She can get in, and Athena can get in and do all the thing. Gilgamesh is the tank. If we're using video game terms, Ajax was the healer. That they all have different purposes. Like clearly, Makari is the scout, as she can just scout. I found
Done.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, I found it on the other side of the
I've
earth.
scouted the earth.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, so yeah, obviously just their powers against Icarus is reasonably useless. But yeah, when they're teaming up, because obviously Icarus is quick, but he's not as quick as Makari. So Makari on her own had him pretty pegged for a while.
Meanwhile, as they're doing that, the evolved deviant turns up, and Angelina Jolie has a good fight with him.
Properly fucks him up.
Yep.
I thought she was about to die.
Yeah.
As obviously is the implied thought process, but then she just very quick, and the old slide,
Yep.
which is always satisfying, and you can get away with it in a 12 because the
Slides in
gloop
multiple
was
angles
yellow.
as well.
Oh yeah, she probably just goes.
Yeah.
That was a proper get fucked move.
Deceased.
Yes. Begs the question. Why is that not your immediate go-to in every fight?
Well, there's a cooldown.
Ah, see, yes, video games.
Yeah.
Forgot. That's fair. You got to build up.
Yeah.
It's the special.
Yeah.
Does that. But yeah, I really love this beach scene with
Yes,
Phastos making stuff to tie him down and properly ties him down. Icarus down, I should say. Zooming all over the place to find the point. I can't remember what's the point they're looking. Where the emergence is going
to happen.
Yeah. Arguably everywhere, but
It's the first crack on the eggshell.
yes. So she finds that very quickly. I love the effect they use for speed here. Mm-hmm. It looks cool.
It does look cool.
Unlike the Flash, DC. This isn't even a main character, like a main big known character, and Marvel have still outdone DC. You haven't seen any of the DC stuff with the Flash in it, have you? He runs like a fucking knob. Like his legs go out and his arms come out and around. He runs like that.
Oh.
It's almost like he's like grabbing lightning and throwing it forward to break the barrier. It's really irritating to watch.
Not a fan.
No. Fight. That's all that happens. And
Tiamat. That's what the
Tiamat was
born,
the
isn't it?
celestial. Yeah, he was obviously emerging out of the ground, as the name emergence might suggest. And then obviously they build the energy. They get the energy. Share. Cersei gets stabbed by Sprite. Little bitch. And then she freezes him. I feel like you could have turned him into anything. How about turn him into something that doesn't take up large chunks of the planet?
Dust,
air.
yeah.
Although now, some more ice caps.
She's the reason for global warming. Oh no,
The exact
ice
opposite.
caps is a good thing. I apologise.
Yeah, get rid of the ice caps.
The ice caps is what we want.
Ice caps is what we want, yes. So, more ice. But, although the ice cap, I don't think that's how it would work. I think that would actually be super fucked. Because the water level would rise massive. I thought it was marble. Even more pointless. Why would you do that in the middle of this? What good is
Marble.
4 planets worth of marble?
Marble's worth a lot of money.
It wouldn't be if that much of it suddenly appeared because of perceived value.
That's absolutely true. The value would plummet in an instant.
It would be worth less than
Stock markets for
styrofoam.
Marvel would crash overnight.
Marble.
What did I say?
Marvel.
Did I? I'm pretty sure I said marble.
You said Marvel.
Oh, well, fuck myself.
Are we talking Tom Cruise? No, Tom Cruise runs like an absolute hero. The Flash runs like the opposite of... No, that's a villain. A moron. He runs like a moron. But anyway,
sorry,
yes.
there was someone said, I don't know who saw it, it's gone away, but someone said, didn't you want him to sleep? That was the initial plan. The initial plan was to make him sleep and then find somewhere else.
Find something else for him to do, but...
No, it was make him sleep and find where... They were going to try and find somewhere for... They were going to, like, take all the life off of Earth and find somewhere else for them to live so that you weren't killing everyone. Obviously, they realised that wasn't...
because the emergency's occurring.
Yeah.
How quickly do you... People have been trying that for a
They
while.
also say, like, have you seen this species? They're not going to just go along with that. Like, that's not going to happen.
Because people are idiots.
Well, that, and they've also already... Like, I think they used the point of, like... these people, like, half the universe was snapped away, and then these people were like, no. Like, these people aren't just going to go quietly. But yeah, I like how they keep all that in check, because it wouldn't have done. Like, you're telling me that they're going to do that, and the Avengers aren't going to go, excuse me? Like, along with many other people. But yeah, they managed to freeze Tiamat. Emergence failed. World saved.
Indeed.
Saved again. They all go their separate ways. Basically,
Ish.
yeah.
They stay in clumps.
Yeah. Well, Icarus, as you say, seems to have a moment of...
Icarus absconded into the centre of the sun, I presume dead
Yes.
at this point, because if weird tentacle dogs can kill an Eternal, I'm sure a big-ass fireball would take them out as well. So I assume he is dead.
Yeah. And then, they sort of go off in clumps to do their own thing, don't they? So
Yeah, Fastos stays behind and just stays with his family.
they turn Sprite into a human,
Yes, Cersei with the remaining energy turns Sprite into a human.
so she can live a normal life and age.
I don't think they said if she would still have her powers.
I don't think they said either which way.
They said she would age,
Yeah.
and she would die. I assume no.
I'd assume powers are lost.
Yeah, I would assume no. Which, fair enough. All she could do was make illusions, which of all of the powers is the shittest.
Yeah, especially as everyone can do illusions nowadays.
Can they?
Yeah, there's a lot of magicians out there.
I see.
I just feel like
You're just talking
special.
No, fair. This is fair. Obviously, Gilgamesh is dead. He dead. Icarus is dead. Cersei, Druig, and Makari and Thena go on the ship.
Yeah.
And I can't remember where they're going. Are they going to where I can't remember where they were going.
No, Cersei doesn't. Cersei stays on Earth with Kit.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
She does. Cersei stays on Earth with Kit. So it's Druig.
They're off to find other Eternals.
Oh, and tell them what's going on.
What's going on, so they can make their own decisions on what to do.
Yes, that's Druig Makari and
And
Athena.
Yeah.
Yes. They're the ones who are most likely to come back, I think, and Cersei.
Yeah. And
Kingo's looking after Sprite, I think.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just keeping an eye on her whilst continuing his successful Bollywood career.
Indeed. But then, is the scene with Kit a post-credit scene?
No, this is just the main scene.
It's just the end.
Yeah. Well, no, there is a scene with Kit. Which is
I know, that's not the one I'm talking about, though.
So the one where they're on the hill.
Well, the one where they're on the hill, in London,
Because
I
he
would
starts
presume.
to tell her something.
Starts to tell her something, then Big Boy turns up again and is pissed.
He just grabs all of the Eternals that are left on the planet.
Is it the ones on Earth he takes? No, it is the ones
Yeah,
on
it's
Earth.
the
So
ones
he
on Earth,
takes... Does he take Kingo?
Yeah, King goes there.
So it's, Kingo, Fastos, and Cersei, I believe,
Yeah.
are the three. And just be like, you've done gone fucked up. And says something along the lines of...
You've chosen to save these people, therefore you think they're worth saving. I'm going to go and assess this and come back to you with my thoughts.
Yeah. I don't know why he then takes them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably just so you can't fuck anything else up whilst I'm looking into this.
Yeah, probably.
Eventually he's like, I'm going to go and see if I agree. Do I agree with you these people are worth saving? If so, I might let you off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're all fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. But he doesn't take the space one, the ones that are in space, the ones that are going to cause more mischief for him, more
Perhaps he hasn't
problems.
worked out where they've gone.
It's possible.
Don't know how that works. Don't know how far his eyesight works.
No, I don't know. You would assume
You would
reasonably
assume,
far.
Yeah. For
taking
eternity, even.
Oh yeah, he went to go and extract their memories, didn't he? But I assume
Yes.
that won't happen. Something else will happen. Then we got a post-credit scene of the chaps on the ship. Then we get a weird goblin show up,
Voiced by Patton Oswalt.
voiced by Patton Oswalt.
I'm a very big fan of Patton Oswalt, by the way. I just always enjoy him.
I think when he's in things that are good, he's very good.
Well, yeah.
But a lot of the... It's not what I mean. I think he's boosted by the quality of things
For
that
sure.
are around him.
Yeah.
Because when he's in something that isn't good, he's dreadful.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just like everything else. So MODOK is awful, for example. Everything about it. But yes, little goblin. Terrible CGI on the little goblin. Like, horrible. And then we get Harry Styles, a ginger Harry Styles show up. And it's irritating. You can change his hair colour and give him a silly spacesuit and he still looks rather incredible, doesn't he? And it's irritating. And then he has his voice as well. And then it turns out he can act quite well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was really good in this scene.
Yes. Star Fox is his name.
Is it?
Star Fox, brother of Thanos. Imagine being the big ballsack chin purple one and your brother is Harry Styles.
No wonder Thanos was angry. That's what
I
I'm
would be
saying.
pissed as well. I'd be like, anyone who can die, everyone, I don't care who, just half of you fuck off. I don't think it had anything to do with resources.
No, he was just annoyed about his more attractive younger brother, yeah.
And like, good lord.
I understand.
He was good in Dunkirk, but he didn't say anything.
I haven't seen Dunkirk. But he was good in this end credit scene. I thought
I thought he was good.
Yeah, I'm
he
looking
was
forward
good
to
in
it anyway.
Dunkirk, but I always find in roles where you don't... Did he say it? I can't remember. I don't think he said anything. I might be thinking of a different character. But anyway, yeah, I quite like Harry Styles. I'm excited to see... Given that Harry Styles was just in a post-credit scene, this is one of two ways. This is the sort of thing where if Harry Styles was a cameo, that would make sense to me. Someone as big as that being a cameo, because obviously this isn't his main profession. This isn't what he's massively famous for. So it's just a cool little... Hey. It's like Elon Musk having a cameo in Iron Man 2. But given that they made a big deal of him being the brother of Thanos, I'm pretty certain he's coming back.
He's going to be a thing. Yeah.
He'll be in whatever they show up in. My assumption is that these characters will return. We won't necessarily get an Eternals 2.
That was my assumption, that there won't necessarily be an Eternals 2. It will be, we'll see the characters in...
I
These
think
characters will start becoming part of the new, bigger picture. Because now they'll all be aware they don't need to follow this idea, this idea.
And they'll help.
They have to, they'll be helping, they'll be getting involved with things because they'll want to. So, they will join what I'm going to call the New Avengers.
The New Avengers is a thing.
Yes.
There is a team called the New Avengers. There's also West Coast Avengers. It's all over the place. So I assume they're going to come back. I would presume probably the next time they show up will be Guardians 3, as that has just started shooting. You never know. They could be in Thor as well.
You might just see some of them in some things and
some of them in others. Yeah, I don't necessarily assume they're all going to show up together at the same time. I think we'll see them in their groups for a while. The 3 with Big Boy, and then the 3 plus Harry Styles on the ship, I assume. So you might get one in one and one in the other. Cersei was an Avenger for a time in the books, but then again, so most of the characters. I was going to say Moon Knight was an Avenger. But then we get the next... Oh, yeah. Kit Harington, before she was removed, was trying to tell us something about his family history. Then he goes... Then there's another post-credit scene of him opening a box with a sword in it. It's a very shiny sword. The sword does have a name. I can't remember.
It was the Ebony Sword.
The Ebony Sword.
Which is, we looked it up, is like a relation to Excalibur. So it's forged by Merlin.
Okay.
So yes, it was forged by Merlin, but it's not Excalibur. So Angelina Jolie's playing with it on the ship at one point, and she says this is the Ebony Sword, and she refers to it as Excalibur. But like what we looked up, the Ebony Sword was forged by Merlin, but wasn't Excalibur.
That's the one Angelina Jolie was playing with.
Yeah.
How the hell is it? Was that in a flashback?
I think it might have been a flashback. I'm not sure, but she definitely calls it the Ebony Sword. And then when we looked up, what we found was this was the Ebony Sword.
It would make sense if it was in a flashback. Like she just had it.
I don't remember when it was, but it was possibly a flashback. Okay. So Sammy says she was asked if it was the Ebony Sword.
She said it was Excalibur.
It's not the Ebony Sword. So she had Excalibur, and
then he has the
Ebony Sword.
Ebony Sword, and then you hear a mysterious voice asking if he was like ready for this or something. I think that's what he said.
Something like that, yeah.
That voice, for those who do not know, was Blade.
Makes sense. There's a blade on the table.
Interesting to see how... I haven't really read much of Blade, so all I know is really from the movies that he fucks up vampires. So I don't know how he would play into something like the Ebony Sword, being all like British mythology.
We'll find
and
out.
All that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's Blade. We'll find out pretty soon. There's rumours that he's in Moon Knight as well.
Right.
So that might be the first time we see him, as the Blade movie is quite far away. And it would make sense for a character like Blade that we've had before, but not in the MCU. So to lesser confusion, you build him in slowly. So
yeah, fair enough.
Blade, I'm excited for Blade because one, Blade's fucking cool, especially since Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes is kind of the one that made him cool.
So my question here is not related to the movie directly, but the last few sets of like new things we've had from Marvel have all been like kind of setting up different things. The multiverse seems to be the big thing they're aiming for, but there's also lots of other things being set up as well. Do you worry that there's too much being set up, or
No, because I assume they'll meld together at some point.
that's got to be what's going to happen, right?
Or they're setting up... The thing they'll be setting up will be three different things, but I imagine they'll kind of bleed over. They're setting up the multiverse, the more mystical side of things, and then galactic side of things as well. I think galactic is kind of safe because it's completely on its own.
Yeah.
Or at least it can be. You can still do things where like Guardians show up. Obviously, Thor is very involved in Earth, and so he's going to show up in Earth stuff still. That's no doubt. But most of the stuff that happens in those movies is irrelevant. to a degree. The only thing relevant with Thor Ragnarok is that Asgard gets destroyed, so they all head for Earth, and then that's where Hulk went.
Yes.
Other than that, doesn't come into it. Most of the Guardians movies doesn't come into it, because anything that's cool and could change anything was Peter Quill getting powers, but they remove it by the end of the movie. So I would assume the same will occur. Obviously, this particular one has changed Earth as a place, but yeah, it'll be more Blade and so. It is because what was the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi? It was the rings, wasn't it?
To do the rings, yeah. Setting up that they're rings, and essentially it was Captain Marvel and
Hulk,
yeah.
Since that post-credit scene, there have been rumors as to why he was Bruce Banner again.
Oh, interesting.
But in case they're real, I won't say what they are.
That's fair.
But was that setting up mystical or cosmic stuff? Were they saying they were just really old?
For me, that was just setting up the implication that the guys from Shang-Chi will be being more involved with the Avengers. That was all I took from it.
For sure, but they were talking about...
They were interested in
the
rings.
Where these rings I can't remember whether they said they were just really old or they were older than Earth. I can't remember.
I think they said older than anything that we know of, or older than anything that we have any record of.
So it could just be the mystical side of things more than cosmic. Yeah, that seems to be the three realms they're going down. Hopefully, they don't fuck it up. Because we're still getting things like Hawkeye and She-Hulk as well, which is going to be a kind of fourth avenue, which is like nothing. Not nothing, but like the more what we already, the universe we've already, the rules we've already.
Some things within those universes which are linking into some of the
for sure. That saying nothing was the worst word I could. But like, it's not leading into the mystical, the cosmic, or the multiverse. It's just what we already have. It's building on what we already have.
Talking about Shang-Chi's there, Hannah says we can all watch it tomorrow. Check. Not only that, we can watch it in a proper fucking aspect ratio.
Yes, we can. I will probably wait till 3 days after that when it comes out on blurry.
And then watch it in a shit aspect ratio.
And watch it in the wrong aspect ratio. Well, we don't know. It might be on the disc as well.
Might be. Please let me know if it is.
I will.
Because I'm going to hold off buying them on discs at the moment, just in case they bring them out as IMAX Blu-rays at a later date. Because you know that is absolutely the kind of shit they'd pull.
For sure. And I buy them because I'm a cock.
So would I. Which is why I won't buy the normal ones first, because I do have access to them.
But here's my thing. What is that window? How long do I leave it before going... This is why I can't do it. Because my body...
Here's what would happen, though. Here's what would happen. You would leave it for...
3 years.
X amount of time.
And then they would do it the day after I buy it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So my choice is to never, ever, ever buy them, which would piss me off because I have all the others. Or buy them and then have to rebuy. As I said when I bought the Bullet hoodie, I'd rather regret buying something than regret not buying something.
Do you regret buying the Bullet hoodie?
I do not.
Good.
It's a very nice hoodie.
That's a good gig.
It was a very... Oh my God. We could have just... How long have we been live?
An hour 20. I'm happy to talk about Bullet for the next 45 minutes.
I was going to say, we could have talked about the gig for that amount of time. Easily, I think. It was very fucking good. Yeah. Very fucking good. But before we go anywhere, we're going to do Reading the Things that only one of you sent into.
Reading the things. We can't read, but we're reading the things. Yeah.
Only one of you bothered from my request. So, Hannah, it is very much appreciated that you listen and care. Fuck the lot of you. Other than her. I jest, of course. But Hannah has said, we enjoyed it, but being child-free for an afternoon, I'd have enjoyed almost anything. Firstly, I thought the film was set up very oddly. We didn't need current day, past, current day, past, current day, past, with the exception of the Icarus Ajax flashback. I'd have preferred it to have been, if it had been all the historical scenes followed by all the current day ones. It just felt a bit all over the place. And speaking of the Icarus Ajax flashback, that did not need to be in the trailer, as I spent most of the film thinking, when did that happen? I will say it was with Cersei in the trailer, if I remember rightly. It's Ajax talking to Cersei in the trailer about the emergence happening. Cersei's the one that says, how long do we have? And it's 7 days, and then they kind of leave it there.
I honestly don't remember at all. Fair enough.
I believe. I could be wrong on it. It was one of those Marvel switcheroos that they do. Continuing, if you needed it for advertisement exposition, you could have just had Gemma Chan explaining to Kit's scene as that happened in the first 15 minutes. They had that as well. Loved the diversity of the cast. It didn't feel like they shoehorned in Fastos being gay or Makari being deaf. It's just that's who they were. Every time I saw Gilgamesh, I thought of Wong, but I'm not mad at that. Can always do with more Wong. Agreed. Icarus was giving strong Homelander vibes and loved the irony that he killed himself, maybe, by flying too close to the sun. Yeah, they did mention that that's where the legend came from, wasn't it? Literally him. Love that this was a world where Batman, or at least Alfred, and Superman are both canon, as are BTS. Hope they all survive the snap.
No, I like that they referenced Batman and Superman. That was cool.
They mentioned the Avengers, but heard nothing from them, or is there some tit-for-tat bullshit where the Eternals didn't help then, so they're not going to help? Because you'd think random monsters turning up, at least one of them might think to attend.
I did think the same.
We've had that for all of the MCU,
It's been
though.
such a long thing where they're not dealing with each other's problems.
Ever since the first Avengers movie happened, you're like, why has no one showed up? They've kind of gotten rid of that now. You get very few actual solo movies anymore. Like, we know the next Thor has the Guardians in it, and we know... Actually, I think the Guardians so far is a solo movie, but the last Thor had the Hulk in it, and Doctor Strange is going to have WandaVision in it, and Spider-Man's going to have Doctor Strange in it, and WandaVision? Wanda. The next Captain America is obviously going to have the Winter Soldier. From hearing he was in it, I was expecting Kit Harington to have a bigger role, but turns out that's a seed for the future. Know nothing about the Black Knight, so look forward to finding out more. Same. I know he's a person, but that's about it. I don't see how this film is going to fit into the big picture with no sequel planned in the next few years. There's no sequel planned ever so far. And almost all of the characters missing from Earth, so we'll just have to see where this goes. All in all, we enjoyed it, even if the whole film did seem like Chloe Zhao had a field day with the gold glitter gel pen over the screen for most of it. I think we're pretty much in agreement.
Yes, I concur. I concur.
I need to get better at reading out loud. Very bad at it.
It's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard.
It's
I
a
need
hard
to get
life.
better at recording plots and finding ways of talking about films, but no, it's hard.
We're nailing it.
Yeah, we are the kings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you concur, Doctor? No. Our man,
there you go.
Sky Point Iron Man. I don't understand. But we've got many things to look forward to, obviously. Next month, we've got Spider-Man. And then we've got a big old gap.
I've just thought of a problem.
What? Oh, God. What? What's he done?
We don't have any. What are we doing next week?
That's absolutely in the schedule.
Yeah, but it's passion films.
It's Matrix, isn't it?
Is it? No.
Please hold.
We're checking our.
That's too late.
Where are we? So next week will be.
What date is it?
Right, we're
It's the
currently
11th. So we've got Saturday is the Amazing Spider. Oh no, it is Passion Films.
Shit. It's fine. We can start planning this now. So
The gap
Saturday-
of MCU is not good. Well, but it's a big gap. It's just because everything's just been delayed, and I don't know why. Because all the movies got delayed recently. So it was meant to be Doctor Strange in February, but that was moved to May. So there's nothing until May because Miss Marvel was meant to be this year. And it's been pushed to June. So there's nothing until May. So we're going to have to do some planning.
We've got to do some planning anyway. So that's fine.
Indeed. Well, this has been Admit One for Eternals, your weekly movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole. Not weekly. Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at @rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us to YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on around the internet eventually, maybe.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbitholemedia_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you'd like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way in helping us bring you the shows that you love. What else? Well, we've done the trailer. We don't need to do the whole
Spider-Man thing. Get us to 10
Spider-Man
subscribers.
thing. If you want to see the video again, it is on YouTube, it is on Facebook, it is on Twitter, it will be on Instagram, and it is on TikTok.
Yes.
We scheduled it. It did it while we were on air. Yeah. As we went live, it just all appeared everywhere because technology can be marvelous sometimes.
So go and share it with your friends and
share it around
if you haven't already, because I think you can tell it's going to be the best thing we've ever done. And that was very much the very, very tip of the iceberg.
It absolutely was. The reenactments will be in droves.
Oh, and they will be like more than what we did with that, because that took us 5-10 minutes in total.
What, to shoot it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. There was a couple of cracking up.
There was a lot of cracking up.
I think we laughed more at the swinging, though.
With the swinging that didn't even make the cut, we laughed more.
Yeah, my swinging is instead of yours.
We might do an outtake reel at some point for you as well.
I think they should see the light of the day. I don't come off well. I'm not in good shape. So that would be very entertaining. But anyway, thank you very much for joining. Remember, upcoming on the channel, we do, as I said earlier, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is on Saturday with Admit 1, immediately followed by our weekly gaming podcast, Press Start. Tuesday, we will be doing and film. Discussions need to be had because we don't know what to do because there's only 3 passion films coming up.
Before another set of films
begin, which is The Matrix.
Yep. So it'll be Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday will be 3 passion films. So I think we make an open discussion in Discord.
We need to think of something.
I think that's how we do it.
Because the only suggestion we're going to get is Parasite.
I'm not doing Parasite. I've said before, if other people on the channel want to do Parasite, it's fine. I don't want to do Parasite.
Oh God, Hellboy might be worse than Parasite. Sorry, I went to go, we'll think about it, but coughed immediately. Well, sort shit out. We'll let you know in the Discord as soon as we know what that film is, but we will be here continuing films. It's not long till The Matrix, though, which is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be starting... We start Matrix... like the week after next, don't we?
I don't hate...
No. Yes, we will, because Hawkeye starts... We'll do the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye on the 27th.
Yeah.
And then the first Matrix film is the Tuesday afterwards, the 30th.
Yeah, annoyingly, the Matrix movies are going to have to be the Tuesdays, not the Saturdays.
I want to do Jurassic Park. I'm on board with Jurassic Park. I like Jurassic Park.
Put it forward as a passion film, then.
Just saying, it's just an option.
Because we're definitely not doing 2 and 3. That's not happening. Like, but the first one, I don't hate the first one. I just think it's one of the most overrated movies ever made.
I don't disagree with you.
But I don't hate it though.
Have you seen the guy? There was a guy. He was on 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown, where he does a song about Jurassic Park singing the theme.
It's the most unfunny thing I've ever watched.
The only bit that was funny about it was just the one particular line: "Is Jurassic Park? It's a massive park." That made me laugh.
It's a good line, but it's just
I agree.
As a comedy bit, about 8 minutes too long.
The show is 1 hour 28 minutes right now.
That's not abnormal. But anyway, tune in on Saturday where we can talk about the worst Spider-Man movie.
Goodbye.